Welcome back to the channel. Jubilee Reaction, featuring Luke Beasley and some old Republicans. Let's dive into it.
In a foxhole with Donald Trump or in a foxhole with Kamala Harris?
He had an option to go to the foxholes, and he lied multiple times to not get drafted.
I focus on let's get the population healthy. We got to.
Trump has
Tariffs.
the right vision. With
First claim is MAGAnomics is terrible for the economy. You look very swanky.
Very nice to meet you.
Let's just start here, okay? Because you would agree Trump's landmark economic policy is tariff. That's like his biggest thing.
Well, let's start with the big picture. Trump has
Tariffs.
the right vision.
We'll get there. Let's just get clear. Who pays the tariff?
Okay, so first of all, I'm a businessman. I do growth CFO work around the world. I got hundreds of clients. I've been 30 years of building businesses.
Beautiful.
I can tell you firsthand the reason why many of my American companies can't get into foreign markets is because of tariff barriers.
Just because Trump always seems confused about this, who is it that pays a tariff?
Well, the importer does.
The importer.
Right.
So every time Trump says foreign countries are the ones who pay the tariff, it's not U.S. companies, he's lying.
That's true.
He's lying. Okay, good. It's weird for...
I will say I am watching NFL games right now. And did Dallas Goedert just score? Is he number 88? Yes, he did. So I have a huge parlay. Yeah, even though, we have issues and people are upset and terrible human beings, a lot of us like football. So I'm watching football right now at the same time. Huge parlay. I have a lot of tight end scoring touchdowns. 2 just recently scored. So Dallas Goedert or George Kittle. Let me check right now. I'll let you guys know my parlay at the moment. My Jamar Chase one guaranteed. So that parlay is already hitting. I had Jamar Chase getting like so much statistics. But my anytime touchdown one, I need Hunter Henry and Kinshawn Junkins to score. I need Dalton Schultz to score. I need Dalton Kincaid to score. I have Dallas Goedert scoring, Derrick Henry scored, and George Kittle scored. We have another half of football for the 1 p.m. slots at the very least. So I need them to lock in. All right, let's keep
There's whole economic policy to be based on a lie, but
well, what does it do? So the tariff barriers create fair access. So it's all about fairdom. Americans look around the room. You got some of the most talented people you will ever know in the world. We can give us a chance to compete. Level playing field, we will do the work. We will bring in the international business. Many of our jobs, with globalization, which I led, many of our jobs have gone international because of unfair tariff practices. Even when we had property.
Or speed it up.
In China, we had to hire a non-tariff barrier. We had to hire a Chinese spy to be in our telecom company, stealing our secrets.
Okay, that's like a random anecdote. We got to go more. When you look at the impact, we've seen...
Get ready for Twisted Tea Light, the same smooth.
Shout out. I definitely need to get YouTube Premium.
GDP growth slow.
GDP increased 3.8% during the second quarter of 2025, nearly identical to the same period in 2024. Average monthly job gains have slowed, but the unemployment rate and the total number of unemployed people haven't really changed. Okay, so they fact-checked.
Got to go more. When you look at the impact, we've seen job growth slowing, we've seen GDP growth slowing, unemployment ticking up, employment getting worse. That's all an impact of him slapping these futures. He's also tariffing, just quickly, Brazil.
The U.S. had a $6.8 billion. The U.S. had services trade surplus of $23.1 billion,
which we have a trade surplus with, so it's not the trade barrier reason. He's tariffing countries where it doesn't make coherent sense because he's upset about.
So that fact check basically confirms his case. The other fact check says that we are under a similar situation, but again, we don't want to be under a similar situation when the economy was improving, right? Isn't that the big thing? Especially, it was a slow and steady process to improve from COVID. So contextually, we were improving, and then we've regressed, which is the biggest point. We regressed under Trump's administration with an improving economy. So it was going up, and then Trump came in here, and then it started going. That's not what you want, right?
this thing or that thing, but then we're the ones paying the consequences.
Let's be clear.
That's incoherent.
Let's be clear about impact. In the second quarter, which we're still, what we just finished, in the second quarter, GDP was at 3%, which is a normal range for us. Core inflation is at 2.1 to 2.4%, which is normal for us. Unemployment down at 4%.
You agree that we saw 48 consecutive months of job growth under Biden, and then Trump came in and we lost jobs for the first time in June, I think it was.
But we agree there's 4% unemployment.
President Biden consistent job growth during about 8 million of those. What are these fact checks, Jubilee? What are these fact checks? Yes, there was a good number of job growth or job returns from COVID, understood, but he was growing jobs even beyond that. So the job growth was in general just still going up, in addition to the jobs that were returning from COVID. Interesting little fact checks.
Which is
well, he was handed 4% unemployment. You can't give him credit for that. That's what Biden gave him.
Okay.
Agreed. Biden's economy was good.
Not agreed. In Biden's economy, inflation went up. There were some years 9%.
Well, we handled it better than our G7 counterparts. That was kind of a pandemic thing.
We have $6 trillion of new foreign investment coming in. We have a focus on AI. We have a focus on energy. Trump has a right vision for Americans, people like you.
Focus on AI, focus on energy. The foreign investment things is always weird because I really don't know how to contextualize it. I know some like average person who watch YouTube videos thinks they knows how to contextualize the impact of foreign investment. But I do think there's something to be said in terms of the investment and the individuals that are investing into the country and what return that they want as an investment is money given in, expected return. The reason why I think that there's a bigger picture to it, because I do think that there is not only monetary return that I don't think is very obvious to the average person, but also these backhanded under the desk deals that I'm very curious to see. Like, you know, certain investments into Donald Trump's meme coin. Is that connection that he's garnering or creating under the corrupt meme coin influencing foreign investment? Is deregulating influencing foreign investment? Is certain international action and involved with foreign investment? There's just so much there's so much factors that I don't know about. And AI growth was already happening, but the AI growth we're having right now is, I would argue, more detrimental than good. I know MAGA probably has the idea that social media has been very harmful, I would imagine. Imagine that on crack. AI is something that is influencing the youth, the people so much. And a lot of it, the MAGA administration wants to push forward is with a certain level of deregulation, which is what they try to put in the big, beautiful bill. So they're pushing AI further. And I don't think you could argue that this is in the best interest of society. It's in the best interest of the billionaires who are going to heavily gain a lot from the usage of this AI innovation. I think AI has a lot of great things, but we're kind of just pushing AI along, and it has a lot of negative impacts we're already seeing. So
let's talk again about his argument, right? Is that we're going to bring in a bunch of domestic manufacturers, which will be more expensive. Otherwise, we would have been manufacturing here already. We sent them elsewhere because it was cheaper. And so he's saying we'll bring factories back.
You're saying you send our jobs. You're saying you send our jobs elsewhere. It's not the manufacturing that's important. They used to have 20,000 manufacturing companies around Chicago alone. Many of them left, never to return, which are jobs for people like the people in the room and people that support you.
And the solution
that is not good for us.
Broad strokes, draconian tariffs, as shown by we're losing manufacturing. We're losing manufacturing jobs right now.
I can talk about companies I work for.
Google it. We'll do a fact check on screen.
Manufacturing coming back. They have more orders they can deliver.
Those are anecdotal, not the broader stats on this.
Tell me why you're against fair trade for Americans.
Oh, I'm for that. Heck yeah. And if Trump wanted to negotiate,
then how do you get to it without doing tariffs?
If he wanted to use it as a threat, right? He goes to countries. He says, "You have these trade barriers. If you don't reduce them, I'm going to slap tariffs." That would be one thing. That's not what he did.
So you think empty threats work?
But that's not what happened. He just slapped tariffs on the whole world, including an island with penguins on it, and then started trying to make deals, but it wasn't really working. So he just started. Really hear this? Not very many. It was like 3 that were actual deals. And then he just started sending letters to countries with no concessions, saying, "Hey, this is your tariff rate." So there was no concession. We still have to pay higher tariffs here. We don't get the benefits that he says we're going to get, but we get the downsides of paying higher prices.
We get the chance to employment.
This idea that we are getting employment from these tariffs is just it doesn't live in reality. Now, the conversation of tariffs, I do think, is interesting. They are a useful tool, as Luke just specified. They can be used as a bargaining chip. They can use to pressure up other companies. They can be used to ensure that other companies that are trying to bring certain types of businesses in the United States, that we deter them. Like, these are very effective strategies of what tariffs can provide. The issue when it comes to this conversation is that Donald Trump and MAGA are using the claim that tariffs are being used to improve the economy. And that's just objectively not true. Most economists know, or most economists say, that this is actually counterproductive in improving an economy. As we've seen, we regressed in so many economic statistics. We're losing jobs. Prices are going up. And the reason why it's not getting worse is because a lot of companies have bulk bought a lot of goods to ensure that it doesn't immediately affect the consumer. But eventually that's going to run out. So we have to see if eventually Donald Trump scales back the tariffs. You know, he just put another 10% tariff on, was it the UK or Canada? I think it was one of those countries. And if he doesn't scale back, then those prices will start skyrocketing. So we'll see how everything plays out. But if you want to say tariffs in a very broad term is good or bad, there's nuance. If you're trying to say that tariffs are being used to help the economy, and the universal tariff implementation strategy that is being used by Donald Trump, that's just wrong, and that's a lie.
Companies I work for.
Well, it's not working.
Okay, pause. You've been voted out.
My friend, Luke,
Nice to meet you.
You sell it, we ship it.
Hi.
Hi, Luke. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Nice to meet
What's your
you.
name?
My name is Rosalind.
Rosalind.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
So we're going to do this with everyone. We agree
Okay.
Trump lies when he says foreign countries pay the tariffs.
You know what's interesting about that is that if they weren't paying something, why were they so hard working trying to get out of it?
China, Japan, Mr. Japan is not paying the U.S. government in tariffs, correct?
Money is coming
who?
in. Money is coming in from multiple countries. First of all, you have UAE, Saudi Arabia, Japan,
In tariffs?
South Korea
In
that have
tariffs, yes
all
or no?
that have all come to the table to give more than
Wait,
$1 trillion
we're talking about tariffs
each.
right now. Are these countries paying us in tariffs?
I do not
what Trump says.
agree that the tariffs were the best idea, but I'll go ahead and give you that, okay?
Cool.
But all of the deals that Trump himself has made with countries that are bringing in over $1 trillion.
Foreign governments have announced trillions of dollars of investments in the U.S. during the Trump administration, including all this stuff in investment. A lot of these deals, and I'll bring up a source in a second. A lot of these deals also have to be attributed to Biden, from my memory, in terms of deals that were already put on the table for investment. But I'll see if I can confirm that in a second. As for the conversation of investment and these investments are helping the country, I just don't see how that can be used as an argument, because the investments are not there to help the people. Investments are there to help the individuals, and investing in very specific locations in the United States, right? The idea behind tariffs and why they were put in the first place is the idea that the United States will be getting this money, which will help the people, which will help mitigate the tax decreases, and that is inflaming the U.S. budget and the national debt, and will help mitigate a lot of the other pricing that's been going up regarding groceries, housing, utilities, stuff like that. So that was the prime argument. Investments don't help with any of that. Investments have a very particular purpose, what they're being invested in. A lot of it is energy based. A lot of it is AI based. But these are not helping the people. That's just not happening.
Yeah.
To give to the
Okay.
economy,
What if-
they're going to make money off of
All
the
right.
American people. It's going to be great.
Okay, so major point. I hear it, but let me connect two thoughts. If Trump's so willing to lie to you, saying that foreign countries pay the tariff, which he repeats constantly, which is not true, then maybe he's lying to you about how many investments are happening. Like when they try to document it on their website, the last time I checked, they were able to document like 2.6 trillion and 1.3 trillion of that was from the Biden era in foreign investments in the United States. So if he's willing to lie about the policy he screams about, such a beautiful word, tariff, then he's probably willing to lie
Oh, well, he just said 1.3 trillion investment was from the Biden administration. Let me hear that again.
if he's willing to lie about the policy he screams about, such a beautiful word, tariff, then he's probably willing to lie about,
You're good.
about how many investments are happening.
Okay, first of all, these countries actually came here, made the investments, spoke to the media.
How do you know that?
This is
There's
not
no teeth
out
to
of
it.
the ether. They showed
It
up here
is.
in the United States,
Trump
South
is claiming-
Korea,
okay, let's-
Japan,
let's-
all
yeah.
of these different people. Either they got there or they didn't. And they are going to
They're made up
invest
numbers, but
trillions of dollars
they're saying
into our
to make Trump
economy.
relieve the
It's
tariffs.
going to be good.
But-
there
but
will
you
be
know,
more
I
jobs
heard you.
in
I heard
this
you. I got your
economy.
point.
All right, I'll be right back. I want to make sure we get a proper source for this. All right, getting right back into it. It's very hard to find a very specific information in regards to the what foreign investment was attributed to Trump versus Biden. One thing that is very clear after kind of doing some research is that one, Joe Biden during his term was still top in terms of foreign direct investment. So throughout his term, despite COVID happening, a lot of countries were still investing a lot in the United States. Now, do MAGA ever give him his credit? Of course not. But it's interesting that they are using this new strategy of foreign investment as a means to uplift Donald Trump. It's very interesting. I never heard people using foreign investments, but once Donald Trump makes something his talking point, it is what it is. Here's more direct numbers from it regarding the direct investments, all the different industries. One thing that I did see that I'll kind of retract something that I said earlier is the idea that investments can't help the people. And I was speaking in broad terms, but I do think it's important to clarify that investments can help the people because if it invests in specific businesses that will help that business grow, and by therefore helping that business grow, it can create more jobs for people. It's not a guarantee, but it can. And specifically for the investments that are being sent into the United States, the idea is that there's being more investments being drawn for AI, energy production for the two prime examples. So you could argue that this is creating more jobs for AI. At the same time, the AI conversation is a little bit weird because a lot of people are actually losing their jobs because of AI. If you've been paying attention, a lot of corporations and businesses have been doing mass layoffs to transition to an AI period. So it's really hard to say, but I do think there's more nuance to that. I do think broadly it won't help the average American, but for specific businesses, it can help you if you're in that industry. This is another source I saw talking about Trump's quest for foreign investment. Peterson Institute for International Economics is the source. And then like PolitiFact, I saw some information they talked about in terms of investment, how some of the numbers are skewed, how like these are all things that you guys can find as well, how some of the numbers can be skewed, but both by Donald Trump and Joe Biden. The difference is a lot of the numbers that we can find out for Joe Biden as of right now is realized and is in like factually on the books, whereas Donald Trump's a lot of hyperbole and projection. So we can't really say a lot of them are for certain regarding Trump's. But yeah, this is where it talks about the flows, and it talks about the Trump's claims of things that he's potentially going to do with his investments and tariffs and stuff like that. I just couldn't find anything a little bit more specific in terms of the amount of investments that were done for Trump in particular versus ones that were done for Biden. One thing that I will note that if you want to give Trump credit, you can, I guess, is that Trump is more willing to partner himself with entities that the United States doesn't typically partner itself with. And there might be more of a moral or political reason behind that. Like a lot of the investments that was coming into the country were from our allies. So like Canada, the UK, for example. Whereas because of Donald Trump's willingness to work with like morally gray to potentially authoritarian type of regimes, that's allowing more investment for countries that you would not expect, right? And his relationships that he's creating with these countries, again, that's why I brought up, we don't know the reasoning behind some of the deals he's creating. Like, it's shady, to say. There's no specific numbers, but using foreign investment as a means to uplift the economic state of America is pretty weak sauce. I'm not gonna lie.
Then what we can probably
Why are we losing jobs right now then?
You want to know
What the
something?
hell?
We were losing jobs under
We
Biden.
had historic job growth.
No,
but
that is not
it's
true.
true. A couple things. First of
That
all,
is
why do we
true.
outperform every single country on the planet under Biden in our recovery from the pandemic? We saw better GDP growth, historic unemployment. And then Trump has claimed he brought in $17 trillion in investment to the United States.
Okay.
Our GDP is like 27, 28 trillion. Does that make any sense?
You
think he's
don't
about to bring that
believe
much
the
in
numbers.
investments?
So yeah, this is what I was referring to, this fact check right here, in terms of Trump and the numbers being inflated, and we have to see if it becomes realized. That's what I was referring to, that fact check right there.
That Trump said, but you're quoting to me numbers that Biden said.
No.
So you want to
no,
know
no,
Because they're
something? If you
realized.
don't
They
believe one, why do you believe the other?
Trump saying in front of a mic 17 trillion is different than the Bureau of Labor Statistics. I'm not talking about his words. Trump's words. Nowhere in the government have they been able to substantiate 17 trillion. Zero. They've only been able to substantiate, as I said, like 2.6, 3 trillion, and a big chunk of that comes from the Biden era. Whereas the jobs numbers can be substantiated by independent sources and are the institutions we go to for those trackers, the unemployment, the GDP. All of those things are actually mathematically substantiated, whereas Trump's big, bold claims aren't.
Do you want to know something?
Airwick's
Do you
vibrant
want to know
fragrances are
something?
Been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
It's a pleasure. Nice to meet you.
I'll give one more person the opportunity.
Luke,
Hello.
doing a good
Just
job
say
over
some
there,
good
buddy. You're
stuff.
tough.
Thank you. Let's see what you got for me.
Let's go.
So you agree Trump's lying when he says foreign countries pay the tariff,
I don't say he's lying,
but he's wrong.
but I'm saying
Of course, they don't say he's lying, because you always gotta give Trump a level of credence behind the words that he says, regardless of him being a 75-year-old man who is the president of the United States of America.
it's not the complete truth.
It's not true at all.
Because everybody is involved in who's paying tariffs. Ultimately, it's the companies doing business, but then ultimately it ends up with the consumer. So I have some good feelings about tariffs. I have some not so good feelings. But what I like about it is he's stirring up the pot. He's stirring up the conversation. And what I like about that is he's got the world talking.
Stirring? I
Yeah.
don't want to stir if I have to pay
Oh,
more.
I do.
Stop
Oh,
stirring.
I do.
You want to pay more?
I want to stir it up.
You want to stir it up.
Absolutely.
You want,
I like the
lose
world.
jobs, which we have
No,
to
I
happen?
don't.
So the thing is, when people feel dissatisfied with the world, with society, they believe that chaos can create opportunity. And it's a completely misguided, ignorant, and stupid and foolish way to think, because they don't understand the level of privilege they live in current society. But it is an understandable way to think if you live in a very dire situation. The problem is, we have misconstrued what a dire situation is. People who actually are suffering, who are super poor, who can't really live in a prosperous lifestyle or even a normal lifestyle, who are struggling day by day, those individuals will become blackpilled with society and think that I don't care if society is turned upside down, that chaos will be fruitful for me. The problem I have is when people live in this level of privilege, and because they don't acquire this next level of prosperity for their own personal lives, even though they live a full life, they get a full meal every single day, they have a job that they can pay rent and utilities, but they are still complaining about things that are not even comparable to the poor percentage of America. There's a disconnect there. Regardless of the disconnect, the understanding of I want chaos because I can create prosperity will always be misguided in a world of peace. If this was the Civil War time, you would understand why a slave would want that. I don't think you can equate the two situations, to be honest.
Like jobs. I don't like
We
that.
lost jobs in June for the first time since the first time Trump was president.
I don't like
All
losing
Biden.
jobs. And I agree with you. I don't
Okay,
like losing
and-
jobs.
well,
But
then
what I
why
like
would we
is
say it's fun to stir
we
it
have
up?
to get excited about what's possible and the future for our country and what we're calling MAGAnomics. I'm excited because it's based in capitalism. It's based in free trade.
We already have free trade and capitalism under Biden. That already existed.
It's based in getting the world involved.
How
It's
is
based in
Jared's
bringing
free
Getting the world involved. So capitalism How do you feel about the fact that the government has been investing into businesses? That's not capitalism. The moment the government starts getting majority shares into businesses, where's the capitalism there? Free trade. How is there going to be free trade when the government is pressuring businesses to do under the table deals, using its political influence to force people to do certain types of trade? How's that free trade? How's it free trade when the president of the United States has a meme coin that tells people to invest in my meme coin so you can meet me personally so we can do whatever corrupt thing we want to do? The free trade is not there either. And then when it comes to getting the entire world involved, that's just ridiculous. There's no way you can make that claim with the idea of putting tariffs around the entire world. We don't want to get the entire world involved. Not at all. We're putting tariffs on everybody. We're making it harder to be associated with the rest of the world. Our image across the rest of the world is so bad that our allies hate us. Being an American is the most shameful it's ever been in United States history at this point. So these 3 points you made were just not true. This is just misguided.
Trade, that's the opposite of free trade.
It's an attachment to trade, and people are going to negotiate the number. I mean, you know the history of tariffs. It used to be this, and now it's that, and now it's becoming a new thing. But tariffs are just a part
What does
of
that mean? I don't know.
Tariffs are just a part of doing business. It's just
No,
that's
it's
all
a
it is.
trade. It's a trade barrier. It's a tax.
It can be a barrier, but you negotiate. If you don't negotiate in business,
Again, just so everyone knows here, in case you're next, I don't think you can never use tariffs for anything. There are certain critical
We're in
industries,
agreement.
but Trump is using them on everything, on
that's
all of
one
these
thing
countries.
that he has so many strategies.
causing-
Luke. Strategies. You need multiple strategies.
Have you met him?
AI. Look at AI. Look what he's doing. He's made the claim.
Semiconductor tariffs, that would be one thing, but instead he's doing it
Semiconductors is a good category. I'm glad we agree on that. A great negotiator doesn't limit himself. He takes as much as he can and he puts it here.
Those are
and
just
then
like
we come.
What? Who told you this? It's interesting to look in the MAGA brain, especially from all these older people, of how they love to twist the truth to create these formulated responses of rationale behind what Donald Trump is doing. It's so ridiculous. I don't get how these people can live every day with a warped understanding of reality. When has it become a thing that the best thing to do when you're a leader is to just throw a bunch of strategies at the table and hope at one of them sticks? That is literally fucking retarded. If you are a strategist and you're just throwing strategies out there, the potential for failure rises. When you create a strategy, the purpose of creating a strategy is not only, is that Jalen Noel or is that Hutchinson? Oh, that's Hutchinson. Jalen Noel is just not getting any touchdowns. The purpose of a strategy is to obviously succeed in the goal that is put in place. But I would argue even more importantly, minimize risk. How are you minimizing risk when you're just throwing a bunch of strategies at the table without having a foolproof plan? Imagine a scenario where there's a military operation, there's a team that is going out there, a fire team of 4 individuals. They have to go into this building, check every point of the building to ensure that they take out the enemy. Imagine if they just threw a bunch of fucking strategy out there and hope one of them sticks. The chances of all of them dying increases. That's so stupid. You want to pick the strategy that ensures that we all survive. We all survive. So, yeah, that's one of the dumbest things I've heard in a while.
Floating fun
Negotiations
words.
are real, bro.
It doesn't mean anything.
No, they're real.
He's not
If you
negotiating
don't
with most of the countries. He's sending letters with just.
Let me guess. You slept through your alarm again.
This guy looks familiar. Why is he trying to sell me on a church?
And then we pay more
Okay,
for it.
tariffs is one thing. Let's move on to something
Okay,
else.
that's the main thing. Okay, well, let's go next to, I think demand side economics, where you really invest in communities that need it and are going to be the quickest to spend that dollar, is a much more effective way to stimulate the economy, as opposed to like supply side trickle down economics.
Demand? I'm all for demand
And Trump
economics.
is doing the most trickle-down, insane redistribution of wealth from the bottom to the top with his big, beautiful bill.
No.
The largest cut to
No.
Medicaid ever, nearly $1 trillion
we
over
need
a
to
decade.
trim things. We need to tighten
Wait,
things.
wait, wait. He lowered
Look,
taxes.
I'm on Social Security, bro. You think I don't worry about
Bro,
this?
he lowered
I worry
tax
about
rates
this.
for the richest
Then why do
Americans.
you
I'm
cap
for
for
that.
Trump?
I'm
While
for
he's
that
taking
because
money
they're
from the
ones-
poorest Americans?
Because the richest people are business owners, and they're who.
Why is my light so bright? I feel like my lighting is never consistent. I should probably do something about that at some point. Crazy interception. I think that actually no. It's just like the lighting is just weird. Maybe it's because it's just like shining right on my face. Okay. Maybe I'll move this light, put it right in front of me, and that will work better. I'll do that some other time.
Are creating jobs. Without jobs in America, Luke, you know this. Without a job, Luke, in America, without a job, you have nothing. You have no shot at anything.
Right.
Which the most important
Which
thing.
ripping away funds to critical programs hurts
This is a
people's community.
capitalist-
They now have less money. They have less
We got to
ability
tighten. We
to
got to
spend
tighten up.
money
We got to
in the
tighten up.
community.
We
Wait,
give
wait,
too
no,
much
just-
out.
Let's just
too
focus.
much.
Let's just focus.
Did you
Let's
just
just
shush me,
focus.
Luke?
I did.
Come
I
on, that's
apologize.
disrespectful.
I apologize.
All right, you're forgiven.
Luke is young. I would shush him too. The idea that we're giving out too much money to people, is that what he's trying to say?
I apologize. But
Shushing me. Get out of here.
but do you agree? Let's just focus.
Okay, I'm focused.
At the same time, he did one of the biggest giveaways to the wealthiest 1%. He's also, which is increasing our debt. He's also cutting Medicaid. So it's not about tightening up because he's increasing the debt with these tax cuts for the rich.
Medicaid.
And he's cutting Medicaid. That's not tightening up. It's expanding but for the rich.
I can talk about Medicaid. Medicaid has been taken advantage of.
You slapped my hand.
Well, I hope it's okay. Medicaid has been taken advantage of. People are getting Medicaid. They don't deserve Medicaid. They don't qualify for Medicaid. It's not okay. So I like it.
wait.
I like that he trimmed Medicaid.
$1 trillion over a decade is going to.
So it's just like when you see a flaw in a system, you take away the flaw. You take away the system. That's just not how it works. Everybody takes advantage of every system that exists in America. Are we talking about every program that gets taken advantage of? All of it should go away? I just don't understand that logic. It's just very ridiculous. Like, people take advantage of PTO. Should we take away PTO? People take advantage of, 401k matching from businesses. Should we take away 401k matching? People take advantage of parental leave. Should we take away that? It just doesn't make sense to make that claim that a lot of people are going to lose Medicaid coverage because some people take advantage of it. That's just a terrible way to kind of think of it.
Cut a bunch of people who do rely on it, who aren't scammers
we
or
need
fraudsters.
to get them
That's just
healthy.
mathematically
We need
true.
to get them healthy. I focus on let's get the population healthy. We got a bunch of sick
Well, we're
people.
not going to do it by taking away their health care.
Well, let's put the money into
What?
fitness and health programs. I like that.
He's not doing that. He's
I like
giving it to rich people.
No, programs to get you healthy.
I
not
know.
Heal you
One
after
way
you're
you can
sick.
Pause.
No.
So how are you going to get people healthy? How are you going to get them fit? These are just imaginary notions that you're putting in place to escape from the reality that Donald Trump is screwing over the people. It's ridiculous. Trump is authoritarian. I don't think I'm going to watch all of this. What is this? Trump supporters. What is this one? Trump support.
The world feels more
ads. I need to get YouTube Premium again. Trump supporters are not patriotic. Kamala Harris would have been a much better president. And then Trump supporter because they don't understand the American people. Okay. Should I watch Trump is an authoritarian or Trump supporters are not patriotic? I'll do the Trump is authoritarian one. All right, let's go.
Democracy. Hello.
Hello.
Luke.
Lori Mills.
Nice to meet you, Laura.
Well, why don't you say your prompt again? And I really want you to think about your prompt.
Trump is an authoritarian threat to democracy. He doesn't respect elections. He doesn't respect the nonviolent principles of approaching our democratic process. doesn't respect court rulings, is degrading our democratic process in a lot of key ways.
Okay, so I want you to really think about what you're saying here. He's had 2 assassination attempts because of rhetoric that you're giving right now.
I just
MAGA loves to play victim. Imagine if that was the talking point for Hitler. Oh, someone tried to assassinate Hitler. How dare you? Who cares if he's trying to annihilate the Jews? You try to assassinate him, so it's your fault. That's a terrible argument. Absolutely terrible. Give me a better one. And stop playing victim. Because you have no right to at this point.
agree.
Charlie Kirk is dead because of rhetoric that you were stating right.
Minnesota lawmakers are dead because of rhetoric from MAGA. I don't care. So, do I think that we should call for the killing of our political opponents? Of course not. MAGA has no right to stand on any point of leverage in terms of rhetoric. Not at all.
Yeah. Don't you think it's time to take down the rhetoric?
Yeah, I think absolutely. And I actually make an effort to lower the rhetoric, but me identifying someone's ideology and saying through peaceful means we should push back against someone's authoritarianism is exactly in line with peaceful principles. What happened to Charlie Kirk is an abandonment of all of the principles I hold dear. That was horrific. And so the way that we push back against authoritarianism, like for example, if we're saying political violence is wrong, and that's what I believe, and that's why I am horrified by what happened to Charlie Kirk, then is it not anti-democratic, not in the interest of a peaceful approach to a democratic process for Trump to pardon January 6ers?
Well, no, because a lot
they
of
were violent.
Not all.
No, specifically think about people who were assaulted.
I have a friend.
No, I don't want to hear about your friend. I'm talking about specifically violent offenders.
Well, I'm talking
Daniel Rodriguez stun-gunned an officer. He had a heart attack. I'm asking, is it correct that there were people who assaulted police officers violently who got pardons, and are you okay with that?
Yes, because their due process was violated when people.
It wasn't. They had their trial.
No, they
had
didn't.
their whole due.
Yeah, this is all a lie. This is a made up narrative by MAGA that the violent offenders didn't due process was violated. It wasn't.
Process, unlike the people that Trump is without his due
process. Again, are you going to let me speak?
I just don't appreciate if you're going to avoid.
Let
I don't
me
feel
answer
like,
you.
Well, I actually believe that we should not be violent. It sounds like you're okay with some people who were violent.
No, I'm not.
Which scares me. I think that's not lowering the temperature.
I believe in the Constitution of the United States, which says that you have the right to. I believe that you have a right to a quick and speedy trial. I believe when you weren't a nonviolent offender, you shouldn't. Yes, we are. We're talking about it as a whole.
The question I brought up.
No, you're just trying to talk over me to be right.
No, you brought up violence. You brought up violence specifically.
No. Okay, so Ashley Babbitt. Let me ask you. Ashley Babbitt is dead. Do you think a 5'1"?
Wait.
Again, trying to play victim because this woman's evil. So she's trying to play victim. She doesn't want to address the actual talking points that are taking place. So this is not a real conversation.
Now, girl,
I would love to get to Ashley Babbitt next and discuss that case. But
you're
you haven't
not letting me
addressed,
answer your question.
Well, because
so
you're not even trying to answer my question.
Yes, I am. Every time I start, people were thrown in jail for 4 years without a trial. Brady material was withheld in their trials.
It sounds like
so
you aren't willing to acknowledge.
It sounds like you're not willing to acknowledge that people were
It would be an hours-long
unfairly
conversation
mistreated.
if we want to get to each individual case.
And for
I'm
you
saying
to say, let's get
Trump
back to the
specifically
prompt.
pardoned. Yeah, the prompt is Trump is authoritarian threat to democracy.
Okay, so Joe
One of
Biden
the
pardoned murderers.
That's Joe Biden.
You were okay with that?
He
You were okay with that? Was
he removed people off death row, which is different.
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Nice to meet you.
Do you know what's really?
I don't know why you keep on shaking hands if you don't respect the person. I don't respect them. I'm not shaking their hand. It's not nice to meet you. I don't. It's interesting. This is kind of like not political, but it's interesting when people say things, and these are just part of like courteous ways to talk to other fellow human beings. But I don't think it's nice to meet you. I don't respect you at all. We can have a conversation. I have absolutely no respect for who you are and what you advocate for. So is Dalton Kincaid just not going to get any a single reception? A fellow black brother.
I'm sorry.
So what do you think of that? Where do you disagree?
Several places. First off, you're saying that Trump is a threat to democracy.
Yeah.
Do me a favor and define that better for me.
Yeah, I think if you don't respect key democratic principles, like so we don't get caught up, I'd love to, but on January 6th the entire time, we could shift to him threatening media companies, which is not in the interest of, I think if you're doing things against like the First Amendment, that wouldn't be very in the interest of our democratic process. And so lately, I'm sure you kept up with his FCC investigating and threatening media outlets that say stuff that Trump doesn't like. Trump recently said that protesters literally who screamed at him at a restaurant should have RICO cases brought against him. I'm sure people are rolling their eyes because they don't believe that's true. You can find the clip. That's completely disconnected from what we should hold dear as Americans, though.
Here's what I think about it. I think that the fundamental, the bedrock of our democracy is civil discourse.
Yeah.
Don't you agree?
Totally.
Okay. So when you speak over the last speaker, you're getting rid of civil discourse.
Okay, we're doing the I'm a victim. I'm a victim. I'm a victim. For people who don't like victim-made politics that the far left does, y'all act like whiny bitches way too often. You know, this playing victim shit is just it doesn't move me. Engage with the conversation or don't get involved.
Turning a dialogue into a monologue.
No, I think it's just heated civil discourse.
It's heated civil discourse that you can explain away, but doesn't get anything done. I'm here to understand you and be understood by you. And when only you speak, we're not getting anything done.
I'll just warn everyone, if anyone doesn't even try to acknowledge or respond to the point that I'm bringing up, to the claim I'm bringing up, then I'm going to have to stop you because we have limited time and I don't want you to just say a bunch of random stuff.
I get it.
Just like there, you brought up me interrupting when I'm talking about the president's doing. Me interrupting the last individual is a lot less consequential than Trump threatening media outlets who say things he doesn't like.
It's fundamental to our democracy.
But can you address that part? Because we're talking about...
Again, this playing victim bullshit just doesn't make sense. We're talking about the scale of what the president, the most powerful man in the United States, is doing and how he's deteriorating the foundations and the institutions that has been built up to make what the United States of America is today. And you're complaining about how I didn't let some woman just ramble about bullshit that is not related to the concrete context that we are talking about right now that could save the United States of America. Cry me a fucking river. Cry me a fucking river.
Problem.
I'm talking about how we even get to a presidential election.
Okay.
We have to be able to talk to each other.
I agree. We're doing it
We
right
have
now.
to be able to listen to each other.
Yeah.
We will never know if she was going to get to her point or not because you didn't let her.
Well, sometimes if you take too long to get to a destination, I'm going to give up on it.
Okay, then I'll go to my next point. You say that Trump is a threat to democracy. The military works for him.
Cool.
If he wanted to, he could still be in the White House from the first presidency battling with those who would follow illegal orders. And I'll bet there's a bunch of them.
What fucking argument is this? Oh, he could be worse, so he's not a threat? This argument's stupid. It's like MAGA tries their hardest to not engage with the content that we're talking about right now. Is that George Kittle? No, it wasn't. It was Jake Tungus. But they try so hard not to engage with the conversation. It takes him for being literally one-to-one to being Hitler for these people to finally recognize the terrible shit he's doing. It's so disconnected from what is going on right now. And I think Luke is going to bring up, if we're talking about the military, we could talk about everything he's done with the military. Luke can bring up the military speech he had recently. Luke can bring up the military firings he had for generals. Luke can bring up how he's using the National Guard. There's plenty he could bring up.
But didn't happen.
Wait.
He didn't even give an order because he was willing to leave the White House when he was told to.
After he assembled fraud.
You know what? Luke is about to cook. Let me make this into a clip real quick because that was such a fucking stupid response.
Fraudulent electors to try to stay in power. After he tried to pressure local election officials to defraud their voters. After he riled up a mob to attack the Capitol to try to prevent the certification. And then, after all of those illegal schemes failed, he ended up leaving because everything ran out.
And
that's like an
And let's be very clear, we've been very obvious that he wants to use the military for his own needs, which is why he's been sending the National Guard into states and cities without governor permission, which is why he's using ICE, like his own private military, to wrangle up people off the streets that just look Hispanic. And matter of fact, there has been a number of cases of U.S. citizens being taken by ICE. There's a reason why he had a whole military speech talking to the entire military leadership, saying that basically if you don't fall in line, you are fired, and giving vague notions of things that are wrong with the military without giving any concrete examples. And then also saying that, oh, if someone, says something bad to a military soldier, they should attack them. They should hit them. There's a reason why he fires any generals that disagrees with him and doesn't fall in line to what his authoritarian goals are. So this idea that he is not a threat to the democracy because he didn't just outright become Hitler in his first presidency and use the military to take over the United States of America is so fucking retarded. I can't even conceptualize how that is the standard that tells you he is a dangerous man.
Someone who attempted to murder someone, you saying it's not bad because they weren't able to do it.
And after all that, the system worked. The system prevented somebody from being that bad.
But how does that not make him bad for Trump?
The system worked after he tried to insurrect the White House with January 6th. No, it only worked because Mike Pence had some balls. J.D. Vance literally said if he was in the same situation that he would have let him take over. Like, okay.
Just like an attempted crime.
I think he did what anybody would want to do, and that is cling to power. Yes, it's just like
why did no other president deny the peaceful transfer of power like him?
Why?
He was the first one. The first one.
Why did Al Gore take the hanging Chad situation all the way to the Supreme Court?
Did Trump ever concede the 2020 election? Did Trump ever concede like Al Gore did?
Al Gore.
That's an important question.
I don't think so.
Bring up, no, he didn't. And that's bad, right?
Al Gore.
Well, actually, I think we got into a really important place here.
And now you're talking over me.
Well, because you're bringing up Al Gore. Al Gore did the thing that Trump never did. And that's my problem. And you don't respect democracy if you don't concede elections.
Your reason trumps civil discourse. No pun intended.
Wait, repeat that, what?
Your reason for talking over me trumps civil discourse. Now I do intend to.
What the fuck? Get the fuck off this chair, bro. Shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut your old ass up. Shut up. What?
The pun.
I think Trump attacking media outlets, staying in power or trying to stay in power illegally after losing an election fair and square is much more dangerous than me speaking over you.
Do you really do?
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
Good one.
Thank you.
I just cannot be as nice as Luke. I could never see me doing that.
Luke, Shane.
Shane, nice to meet you, Shane. Another good handshake.
Yes, thank you. So we'll try not to talk over each other because I've got 3 Gen Z kids.
Okay.
So I want to hear what you're saying. I think part of the problem is we don't allow dialogue and we don't handle it correctly. We can't repay arrogance for arrogance, hatred. But the question is, Trump is a threat to democracy, correct?
Yeah.
Number one, you mentioned because
I agree to that. There's a lot of problems with the conversations of people not listening to each other. It can be very frustrating. I'm there with you. Just engage with the conversation and the substance at hand. I will engage with what you're saying. You engage with what I'm saying, and stop playing this victim mentality, anecdotal bullshit. Nobody likes that. It's not productive, and you sound like a whiny bitch. So just have a normal conversation, like a normal human being.
Because of the election he wouldn't concede to.
Yeah.
Like you mentioned, Al Gore challenged it. Hillary challenged it in 2016.
Both conceded.
But your position is he didn't concede, he fought it. And I think what we need to do also on your side is you got to get all the facts because there are so many shenanigans and things going on. And actually, Trump supporter, I'm a policy supporter. So I look at not the person, but the policies they support.
Yeah.
So yeah, he didn't concede in that way, but there was so much with the voting, the Dominion system. And so that's why
I'm trying to listen, but
okay, go ahead.
Let's say Kamala Harris, there are liberal voters who think Kamala Harris, there were all these fraudulent things.
Right.
And I say, hey, until that's been demonstrated in a court of law, you can't run with conspiracies. You can't say that Trump is an illegitimate president this go around because of their theories about Kamala's election.
Right.
Would it be correct for her to just start trying to, like they tried to get Pence to do when she was vice president, and she deployed the ideology that Trump was pushing, which is that she could have blocked the certification to keep Biden in power or try to elect herself with the certification? That would have been insane, all because of theories that she had. I don't care if you felt like there were shenanigans. If you saw things on social media, it was never demonstrated in a court of law. And now Trump's the president, and he can't find such evidence.
So my point back to that would be he eventually conceded by how he handled everything. No, I don't agree with how he handled everything. But he obviously conceded because he stepped down. And then you said
I'm good. All right, I'm good. Let's check the comments. They're always a hoot and a holla. For the Epstein time, where the fuck? That was a good one. I'm gonna like that one. That was funny. That was really funny. This one's gonna be a banger, but I still want one doctor versus chiropractors. That was a good one too. Okay, that's 2 for 2. That sure was very funny. It was very funny. 1 Gen Z Lero versus 20 Epstein prosecutors. What? Downvote. That was stupid. I don't get that one. Age does not always correlate with intelligence. Agree. I'm here purely for the lulz because I know there's absolutely no productive conversation coming out of this. Yeah. Yeah. These people will believe anything shared on FBI, but deny actual evidence. As I didn't see it. I can't. These people are lost. They're stupid. This is what it's like for liberals and conservative families. I literally just saw my holiday season. I'm trying to think about my current family situation. If Caleb Williams loses to the Ravens, he's man, he's just been so mid since he's come into the NFL. Like they just kept on doing the same play, and Caleb never hits him on the route. Caleb threw it when he was already done. Like you got to hit him on the break. Why are the Jets making this a close game? Oh my God, Justin Fields, go crazy. All right, yeah. The way I don't think I have conservative members of my family. If I did, then I feel sorry for them. You can't deport illegals without accidentally arresting a few legal citizens. It's the wildest anti-constitutional argument. It's just so brain dead. All right, well, that's all we got. Hope you guys enjoyed. You have a good one. Take care. Like and subscribe. Help me get to 800 subscribers. Peace.